Hey, good morning. Welcome back. I'm super glad you're here today as we jump into Proverbs 10. And if you're new, we read through Proverbs, a complete chapter of Proverbs on Saturday. Then throughout the week in the morning, we jump into several verses just to dive deeper into those verses. And my name is Jason, and I'm thankful for your viewership. I'm thankful for you being here this morning. If you're on YouTube, make sure that you are subscribed to our page. Make sure that that bell is highlighted. Also, if you're watching from Facebook this morning, make sure that you're liking the page over there and following the page as well. Interact with us on both platforms so that we know that you're here. Let us know where you're from, and just if you have any major plans today, or what the weather's like, or just anything, how your Sunday was, and we'd love to hear from you. Again, we're looking at Proverbs 10 today. We're going to be looking at verses 1 through 8, and we're looking at it through enduringword.com commentary. There's a link in the description below, so make sure you go check them out. Let's just jump into it. 10:1 reads, the Proverbs of Solomon, a wise son makes a glad father, but a foolish son is the grief of his mother. And this goes into a little bit of a description about what's going to be taking place here. So it reads the Proverbs of Solomon. Proverbs 10 begins a new section of the book. In some sense, the first 9 chapters have been an introduction. It can be said that the collection of Solomon's Proverbs here as a series of 2-phrase, single-verse wisdom sayings. This arrangement continues through Proverbs 22:16. From the start of Proverbs 10:1 through at least Proverbs 22:16, this commentary will treat each proverb individually. And if we go down to the rest of Proverbs 1, it talks about a wise son. Solomon himself was the ultimate wise son, receiving and valuing wisdom above all other things, as we see in 1 Kings 3. When King David saw this heart in his son, it no doubt made him a glad father. And many of the Proverbs work on the principle of contrast. A foolish son. This proverb can contrast a foolish son with a wise son. Ironically, we could say that Solomon ultimately turned out to be a foolish son in 1 Kings 11, though it was long after the death of his mother. Our wisdom or folly affects more than just ourselves. And the verses say it is the grief of his mother. Wisdom benefits more than the individual, and folly grieves more than the individual. And moving on to Proverbs 10:2, we'll just break it down. The first part, which reads, treasures of wickedness profit nothing. We are reminded of the parable of Jesus told of the rich fool in Luke 12:16 through 21. The rich fool gathered great wealth, but was not rich towards God, in Luke 16:21. Righteous delivers from death. Being right with God brings a benefit that money can't buy. Proverbs 10:3 will not allow righteous soul to famish. The Lord will not allow the righteous soul to famish. This is one of the blessings that money can't buy, that we might think of from the previous verse. Significantly, the principle is directed to the soul. The soul can flourish even when the body is afflicted. But he cast away the desire of the wicked. Ultimately, to be wicked and in opposition to God is to have desire frustrated. To be righteous and to inherit eternal life is to have desire fulfilled. Proverbs 10:4. He who has a slack hand becomes poor. This describes the lazy man or woman who does not put forth their hand energetically to do the work. We should do all that we can heartily as unto the Lord. And that comes from Colossians 3:23. But the hand of the diligent makes rich. Hard work is normally rewarded, and prosperity often comes to those who work for it. And Proverbs 10:5. He who gathers in the summer is a wise son. The ant was previously presented as an example of hard work in the summer, Proverbs 6:6-8. The idea here is of a wise son who shows his wisdom by working hard. He who sleeps in the harvest is a son who causes shame. To sleep when there is work to be done is laziness and folly, and causes shame to self and others. Proverbs 10:6. Blessings are on the head of the righteous. This was especially true in the context of Old or Mosaic covenant, where God promised to bless obedience and curse disobedience. Deuteronomy 27-28. But violence covers the mouth of the wicked. Instead of blessing, violence will come to the wicked. And Proverbs 10:7, the memory of the righteous is blessed. The heroes of faith in Hebrews 11 are good examples of righteous men and women whose memory is blessed. The name of the wicked will rot. If the wicked are remembered at all, it will be as a stinking, rotten thing. Our present path in the righteous direction or in the wicked direction will end either in blessedness or rottenness, each answering to every path. Every man and woman can choose if they are remembered to praise or remembered to shame. Proverbs 10:8. The wise in heart will receive commands. Wisdom gives humility. Wisdom gives the humility to be instructed to receive commands from God and those in rightful authority. Submit to God's holy word without replies and cavils. This is check to the brave gallants of our age, which exercise their ripe heads and fresh wits in wrestling with the truth of God, and take it for a glory to give it a foil. And that's a quote by Trapp. And that's a look at the Proverbs. We're kind of jumping into a different section. As we read earlier, a whole new interesting look at how the Proverbs are being presented to us by Solomon. And so trying to read through this commentary is a little different. It's a little bit of a struggle, so I apologize for that this morning. But what is your takeaways from it? What is your thoughts on it? I like this section of the Proverbs myself. I like the wisdom, and then the contrast to that, or the compare and contrasting of this section of the Proverbs. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. But let me know in the comments what you guys think, what your thoughts on it are, what your takeaways are from it. And join us tonight. We will be looking at Psalms 29 and reading through that. And I hope to see you there. Have a great day, great evening whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.